Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron, right here. Thank you for joining me, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We have some news this evening that is not the news we were hoping for, and that is that the jury in the Danny Masterson trial is deadlocked on all 3 charges, and there will be no court next week. The jury is going to put a pause on deliberations for the next 10 days. Judge Almeida is having the jury come back Monday, November 28th. This is very troubling news. I don't think it was a complete surprise that the jury would be deadlocked on one of the charges. I'm not sure anybody expected the jury to be deadlocked on all 3 charges. Here is how it's been reported in Variety. Danny Masterson jury says it cannot reach a verdict. The jury in the Danny Masterson trial told the judge on Friday that it could not reach a verdict. However, Judge Almeida said that the jurors have not deliberated long enough to declare a mistrial. She ordered the jury to resume deliberations on November 28th after taking a week off for Thanksgiving. In a note to the judge, the jurors said they are unable to reach a unanimous decision on any of the counts. The jury has been deliberating for nearly 3 days. No indication was given as to the breakdown of the vote. Defense attorney Philip Cohen argued that the jury has had enough time and suggested that the judge question the panel about whether anything might resolve the deadlock. Almeida said that not enough time had passed to take that step. Cohen also said he was worried that the jurors might read something or talk with relatives about the case over the Thanksgiving break. Now, during this entire process, I have been under the impression, I have been assuming that Masterson and his team would consider it a victory to have a mistrial. And yet, after the jury announced that it was deadlocked, instead of looking maybe relieved or, a little happy to be actually going into Thanksgiving break, not convicted of these crimes, Danny looked horrible, according to Jeff Augustine, who I spoke with on the phone shortly after this announcement. Jeff Augustine has been in the courthouse. He said Danny looked horrible, and Bijou, his wife, was in tears. She was crying walking out of the courtroom. And so I asked Jeff, I was like, well, what's going on? I figured they would be elated at this. And he's like, it really seems that Danny and his team, or at least Danny, has been expecting an acquittal. Now, I bet Philip Cohen would consider it, the defense attorney, the lead defense attorney, I bet he would consider it a success to have a mistrial. After all, he prevented his client from going to prison, and he gets paid. The defense attorney, that's probably all he cares about. But Danny Masterson, I'm telling you, if this jury comes back, if this case ends up in a mistrial, I truly believe that the district attorney will try this case again. And I'm willing to bet that Danny has spent close to $2 million on this defense. And if you're Danny or you're Danny's wife, Bijou, and you're sitting over there, first of all, I guess it just blows my mind that they actually thought he could be actually acquitted. I thought a hung jury, a mistrial was the best they could hope for. But if you're over there going, okay, if this goes to a mistrial and they try us again, that is potentially 5 more years of hell. Now, I don't care about Danny Masterson going through hell, but let's just put ourselves in at least his wife's shoes for a moment. 5 more years of hell, 5 more years of not being able to make money, because no one's going to hire Danny for anything, and millions more dollars spent on further defense attorney fees. Plus, Danny Masterson still has the civil case to contend with, and yet the civil case is on pause pending the outcome of the criminal case. Now, I guess I've just been assuming that this thing was going to conclude with a guilty verdict, that it didn't even occur to me that if this thing ends in a mistrial, it's quite possible that the civil case will be postponed indefinitely, perhaps for years. That's something I should ask my favorite attorney friend, Zach Morgan. We're going to do a live chat about this later this evening, and I will ask him about that. So as we can see, Danny and his wife Bijou are not taking this news well. I guess they really did expect an acquittal. Seems crazy to me to think that that would even be possible, but this is where we are right now. I can't even believe that I can't believe this is where we're at. The jury not being able to come to a consensus on even one single charge. I will admit it is hard to see how we could get from where we are right here to a unanimous guilty verdict. But that also brings us right to, you never know what could happen after 10 days. After 10 days of mulling this over, I don't know. I'm just being generous and charitable. I honestly don't know how you can't already have your mind made up about this case after seeing 4 weeks of testimony and deliberating it for 3 days. And wherever you're at right now, I don't see how anything changes after a 10-day break. But I'm going to ask Zach Morgan for his thoughts about that as well. So join me sometime later this evening. I'm not sure when it will be, but Zach and I will go live. So hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, hit the notifications. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And that's all I got for now, guys. Thanks for watching and listening. Thanks to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,